Welcome back to Daily AI News at Let's Data Science. It's 2026-07-21. Today, we're diving into some pivotal developments from the future of machine intelligence to major product launches. Let's get to it. Our top story comes from India, where the Reserve Bank of India has published draft guidance on regulatory principles for model risk management that would significantly expand AI governance expectations across the financial sector. The proposal would require regulated institutions to apply a board-approved model risk framework to every model they use, including internally developed systems, third-party software, machine learning models, and generative AI. The draft remains open for public comment until July 24th, so these are proposed requirements rather than final rules. Even so, the direction is clear. Institutions would need comprehensive model inventories, independent validation before and after deployment, ongoing monitoring, documented ownership, and formal approval processes. For AI systems specifically, the Reserve Bank of India is proposing adversarial testing, controls for hallucinations, bias, model drift, and unexplained output variability. Customer-facing generative AI would also require clear disclosure that users are interacting with AI, protection against prompt injection, an option to switch to a human representative, and human override or kill switch capabilities. For engineering, compliance, and MLOps teams, the emphasis is on evidence, version tracking, validation records, monitoring signals, incident history, and contracts that preserve audit rights for third-party models. Next, a fascinating piece of security research highlights an unexpected connection between AI infrastructure and electrical infrastructure. Researchers Zhouhao Ji, Kai Pan, and Wenyuan Xu have presented Bit to Watt, a paper accepted to CHET 2026, exploring whether legitimate GPU workloads could be deliberately synchronized to create harmful power oscillations in renewable heavy electrical systems. Importantly, this is not evidence of a real-world grid attack. The researchers combined physical experiments involving GPUs and photovoltaic inverters with simulations to demonstrate the underlying mechanism, while the largest impacts remain modeled worst-case scenarios. In their synchronized simulation, 1,000 GPUs operating within a 1 megawatt local power system containing 90% distributed energy resources produced current harmonic distortion of 46.8% and a negative damping ratio, indicating an unstable modeled response. The practical implication is that cloud workload security and power quality monitoring may need to become more closely connected. The paper suggests data center operators should consider tenant workload controls, higher frequency electrical telemetry, anomaly detection, and coordination with facility and grid operators as part of future resilience planning. Infrastructure demand continues to accelerate as IREN announced it has signed $2.8 billion in new multi-year AI cloud contracts with unnamed AI developers. Those agreements have prompted the company to raise its year-end 2026 AI cloud annualized run rate revenue target from $3.7 billion to more than $4 billion. It's important to distinguish between contracted business and realized revenue. IREN describes this as an annualized run rate target rather than GAAP revenue already earned, and achieving it depends on successful GPU commissioning, testing, customer acceptance, utilization, and pricing. The company says approximately 85% of the revised target is already under contract, while recent customer prepayments cover roughly 45% of the associated GPU capital expenditure. IREN also plans to deliver 480 megawatts of AI cloud capacity during 2026, with 1.2 gigawatts targeted for 2027. For organizations evaluating AI infrastructure providers, the key questions remain: deployment schedules, hardware specifications, service levels, and when commissioned capacity actually becomes available for production workloads. Our final top story illustrates another dimension of AI infrastructure economics. Oracle has warned Wisconsin regulators that approved electricity tariffs for its Lighthouse data center campus could require the company to arrange more than $7 billion in financial security under current utility rules. Oracle estimates that maintaining letters of credit at that scale could exceed $100 million annually. These figures are Oracle's projections, not a bill or penalty imposed today. The Public Service Commission of Wisconsin established financial protections intended to shield other utility customers from infrastructure costs if very large projects fail to meet their obligations. Oracle argues it does not qualify for an exemption based on the required credit ratings and financial criteria, and has proposed replacing much of the required security with a parent guarantee. The case highlights that AI infrastructure planning increasingly involves utility regulation, financing structures, and long-term electricity commitments alongside servers, GPUs, and networking. Now for a few other key updates in our lightning round. GitLab has released version 19.2, introducing dependency scanning auto-remediation and security review flow in beta, while GitLab Duo CLI and GitLab Duo Custom Flows reach general availability. The new security automation can automatically open merge requests to update vulnerable dependencies, while maintainers continue to retain final approval before changes are merged. Okta has published its Enterprise AI Index using anonymized single sign-on data from more than 20,000 organizations covering June 2022 through June 2026. The report finds that most enterprise customers now rely on multiple AI platforms rather than a single vendor. Okta also highlights growing identity risks as agentic systems continue to depend on service accounts, static API keys, and, in some cases, shared human credentials. Naver Cloud and Korea University's C5SRT Convergence Research Center have signed a memorandum of understanding to pursue approximately 20 billion won in South Korean defense AI work. The collaboration includes research into large model command and control technologies and preliminary development for the country's planned 2027 Joint Command System. The announcement describes planned research and participation rather than an awarded production contract. SEMI has raised its outlook for semiconductor manufacturing equipment, forecasting worldwide equipment sales of $165.9 billion in 2026 and a record $229.5 billion by 2028. The organization attributes the expansion to AI-driven investment in leading-edge logic, high-bandwidth memory, semiconductor testing, and advanced packaging, although these figures represent equipment spending rather than finished AI accelerator availability. In South Korea, Presidential Policy Chief Kim Yong-beom argued that access to AI should be treated as a basic right, proposing that government guarantee a minimum level of computing access while leaving AI service development to private companies. He linked that vision to the country's planned Everyone's AI initiative, which aims to introduce free domestic AI services by the end of 2026. Finally, Apple has reportedly sent preservation letters to about 40 former employees now working at OpenAI as part of its ongoing trade secret litigation. According to reports, the notices instruct recipients to preserve documents and communications that may become relevant to the legal case. Receiving such a letter does not establish wrongdoing, but it broadens evidence preservation beyond the individuals named in Apple's original lawsuit. And that's your AI briefing for today. The landscape is moving faster than ever, and we'll be here to track it with you. For more insights, visit us at letsdatascience.com. Thanks for tuning in, stay curious, and we'll be back tomorrow with the latest in AI.